Hey everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records. It's time for our weekly check into some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you. As always, just the highlights. The list is way too big for us to get into, especially with one of the artists today. Holy cow. But if you'd like to see that full list, all you have to do is head over to our website at radiowasteland.com. From there on the front page, just scroll down to the upcoming releases link, click on that, and you'll see a PDF that has everything that there is to see coming out in this upcoming week. For now, though, let's dive into these new releases scheduled for Friday, the 5th of September, 2025. Kicking things off, we've got something from Rob Thomas. Brand new, this is called All Night Days. Our description says that All Night Days is Rob Thomas's 6th solo album, and through this, he continues to pen songs about living life to the fullest, even if those all-night days come less often than they used to. I think that's called age. It goes on to say that this record is a fitting soundtrack for Saturday night as much as it is for Sunday mornings. Available only on black vinyl, All Night Days, brand new stuff from Rob Thomas, this one coming in at a suggested list price of $30. Another old favorite artist kicking out something brand new. This is from Bryan Adams, and it's called Roll with the Punches. Our description says that Roll with the Punches is the eagerly anticipated 17th studio album from the acclaimed singer-songwriter and global rock icon Bryan Adams. This is Adams' first full release of new material on his very own independent label, Bad Records. Co-written and produced by Adams, the album features 10 newly recorded tracks, including Roll with the Punches, Make Up Your Mind, and Never Ever Let You Go. Standard black vinyl version of this, a little pricey, coming in at a suggested list price of $42. It's saying it's an Italian import. And then just because there are multiple other variations of this, they're all imports for some reason. There is a clear vinyl version of this coming from Australia, and holy cow, the list price is $69 for that one. And then there is a white vinyl version of this, Canadian import, $54, the suggested list price on that. And then finally, in the Just Because category, there is a box set, an extended deluxe edition box set of Roll with the Punches. I guess it contains the LP, 2 CDs, complete with acoustic versions, and a bonus CD featuring tracks previously unreleased. The LP as well also has a 48-page book and a 12-inch art print signed by Bryan Adams. So if you need the big box set of Roll with the Punches from Bryan Adams, $116 is the suggested list price for that. But again, the base vinyl, the black vinyl, Italian import, $42 for the brand new Bryan Adams. One other old artist coming back with something brand new here is David Byrne and his new one called Who is the Sky? Now, our descriptions, you guys know that I like to poke fun, gentle fun at the descriptions that are written for these, but this one actually kicks off a David Byrne album description by him asking himself, do I like what I'm doing? Why am I writing songs or working this job? Does it even matter? Stop short of saying, what is this beautiful house? But Byrne's attempts to answer these weighty questions can be found on this new album, Who is the Sky? A first-time collaboration between himself, Grammy-winning producer Kid Harpoon, a.k.a. Tom Hall, who has worked with Harry Styles and Miley Cyrus, and the New York-based chamber ensemble Ghost Train Orchestra. This sounds like a very interesting one. The standard version of Who is the Sky, the new stuff from David Byrne on yellow-colored vinyl, $35 is the suggested list price there. And then there is an indie exclusive coming on green vinyl, $34 the suggested list price for that one. Quite the trippy cover, too, from David Byrne. Up next is new stuff from the band Big Thief, and this is called Double Infinity. The description says that this album constitutes a grand departure for Big Thief. It's an ultra-modern community of musicians gathered in a warm wooden room over a winter, tracking together simultaneously, improvising arrangements, and making collective discoveries. So again, the new one from Big Thief called Double Infinity, the black vinyl version of this coming in at $34. And then there is an indie exclusive on green-colored vinyl, this one also $34. Just a couple of weeks back on our podcast, Two Guys Talking About Records, Steve and I discussed space rock. Well, now we've got a new release that's kind of continuing in that tradition. This is from the artist Curtis Harding, and it's called Departures and Arrivals, The Adventures of Captain Kurt. Our description says that in the making of his 4th album, the Atlanta-based singer-songwriter dreamt up a batch of songs exploring the longing and unease of being far from home, a true-to-life reflection that he soon expanded into an elaborate concept album We did a whole episode on concept albums too, by the way. But a concept album about a pilot lost in space. So this latest addition to the acclaimed catalog, including his 2017 breakthrough Face Your Fear, that one co-produced, by the way, by Danger Mouse, Departures and Arrivals, The Adventures of Captain Kurt, merges the lavish scope of a space opera with the pure feeling of classic soul, ultimately bringing together an even greater potency to his wildly eclectic sound. So again, a space rock concept album, new stuff from Curtis Harding, Departures and Arrivals, Adventures of Captain Kurt, you have to say that right. $24 is the suggested list price for the black vinyl version. And then there is an indie exclusive on orange colored vinyl, $26 is the suggested list price there. And finally, on the new stuff, we have got a new version of the Beetlejuice original soundtrack, a limited edition Australian on pink and yellow colored vinyl, hand-poured vinyl, by the way, coming from Waxworks Records. So this is the Danny Elfman soundtrack to the Beetlejuice movie, not the music from, but the actual Elfman soundtrack. This one, by the way, from Waxworks, looks like it's limited to only 300 copies, so it could be a good get if you were able to land one. The Beetlejuice soundtrack from Danny Elfman, coming in at a suggested list price. So you're going to pay for that, though, from Waxworks. $62 is the suggested list for that one. Onward now to the reissues scheduled for the 5th of September. Kicking things off with another brick and mortar exclusive high fidelity reissue from Fleetwood Mac and Rhino Records. This is the self-titled Fleetwood Mac. Sounding good like all of those other Rhino hi-fi ones do, I'm sure. $40 is the suggested list price on that one. This next reissue from Camper Van Beethoven was a Record Store Day release not too far back. It's telephone-free Landslide Victory, and this time around it's coming on green-colored vinyl. It's being called an Anniversary Edition, so you can take the Skinheads bowling on green vinyl from Camper Van Beethoven. Again, telephone-free Landslide Victory, this reissue on green vinyl coming in at a suggested list price of $29. On to some jazz next for our reissues, and here's one from Don Cherry, and it's the Complete Communion, and it's part of the Blue Note Tone Poet series. Our description says that cornetist Don Cherry first rose to prominence as part of the revolutionary Ornette Coleman Quartet in 1959, but it wasn't until he signed with Blue Note in 1965 that he began his career as a leader with a run of fiery albums, including his bold debut, Complete Communion. So this stereo reissue, part of the Blue Note Tone Poets series, was produced by Joe Harley, mastered by Kevin Gray from the original analog master tapes, and pressed on 180-gram vinyl at RTI, and packaged in a deluxe gatefold tip-on jacket. So very, very high-quality reissue coming here. The Complete Communion, part of the Blue Note Tone Poet series, this one from Don Cherry. $39 is our suggested list price. Up next is a pair from Pharoah Sanders, kicking it off with Love Is Here, the Complete Paris 1975 Orft recordings. I think I said that right. In addition to the high-quality double LP, our description says that this also includes an extensive booklet with some rare photos from the actual performance and an essay by longtime jazz critic and historian Kevin Whitehead. So double LP of Love Is Here, the Complete Paris 1975 recordings from Pharoah Sanders. $40 is the suggested list price on that. And then we also have a reissue of Message From Home from Pharoah Sanders. Originally released in 1995, Message From Home is a journey through sound, blending Pharoah Sanders' spiritual jazz legacy with hypnotic hip-hop grooves and rich African rhythms. So again, this one is Message From Home. Oh, by the way, it is a music on vinyl release. So 180-gram, nice quality vinyl on this one, black vinyl. Suggested list price for this one is $39. Onward now to a big batch of stuff coming from MF Doom, and it's a reissue of his Special Herbs series, pretty much all of them. So this is Metal Fingers Presents Special Herbs, volumes 1 through, 10, I believe. Each of the releases is a double LP, and each of them come on different colored vinyl. So the description says that this is one of the most expansive instrumental hip-hop series to date. MF Doom's lauded Special Herbs collection assembles a mountainous collection of his beats, ranging from series exclusives to slightly reworked favorites that he had produced for himself and for others. Released under the alias Metal Fingers, Special Herbs succeeds in capturing Doom's highly influential sound, which continually breaks barriers and reinterprets the rules of the game in favor of the super villain. Each of these is sold separately as a double LP release on different colored vinyl. Let's run through them as quickly as we can here, starting off with Special Herbs Volume 1 and 2. This one coming on orange-colored vinyl, $35 is the suggested list price, and that list price is going to hold true through all of these. So again, volumes 1 and 2 on orange vinyl. Then we have volumes 3 and 4 on yellow vinyl. Volumes 5 and 6 coming on red vinyl. And I should probably mention, if you haven't noticed by now, that each of the covers is a little bit different with the font matching that vinyl color. So again, yeah, 5 and 6 on red vinyl. 7 and 8 come on blue vinyl, and volumes 9 and 10 of Special Herbs from Metal Fingers, aka MF Doom, is coming on green vinyl. And again, each and every one of these has a list price of $35. So man, if you're looking for the full set, you've got some cash stacking to do here. Up next is a 25th anniversary edition of Slipknot's self-titled LP, now turned into a double album. Our description says that this includes some unreleased demos and alternative mixes. Black vinyl version of Slipknot's self-titled 25th anniversary edition, double LP. $40 is the suggested list price for that one. And then there is an indie exclusive version coming on jade-colored vinyl. $45 is the suggested list price there. Let's keep the metal moving with another music on vinyl release. This is from Manowar, and it's Hell of Steel, the best of, coming on 180-gram black vinyl, as I mentioned, from Music on Vinyl. So it will sound absolutely fantastic. Our description says that Manowar, just in case you don't know, is an American heavy metal band from Auburn, New York. Formed in 1980, the group is known for lyrics based on fantasy and mythology, as well as numerous songs celebrating the genre and its core audience. So this Music on Vinyl release, a compilation again, Hell of Steel, the best of Manowar, double LP on black vinyl, $48 is the suggested list price for this. All right, next up, our reissues are going to be turned up to 11. You know, I could not resist that one, of course, but we are finally seeing a reissue of This Is Spinal Tap, the original soundtrack from the original film. Our description says that This Is Spinal Tap has been newly remastered by Byrne from the soundtrack's original stereo analog master tapes and is now pressed on none more black vinyl in a gatefold jacket, again, just like the original. If you've not found one of these in the wild original, it's a very cool find, but it's good to see these things back out as reissues. $30 for the reissue of Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap, the original soundtrack. It's got all the cool stuff on there that you've known and loved. And then we have a reissue of Break Like the Wind. It's the 1992 follow-up to their iconic debut soundtrack album. This one also newly remastered from the original analog master tapes by Byrne Grundman, also pressed on 180-gram black vinyl. This one is a fun one, not as well known as the soundtrack, but still cool. $30 is the list price for Break Like the Wind. And all of this, by the way, is a lead up to the release of the new Spinal Tap album coming from the new Spinal Tap film, the sequel, The End Continues. Not scheduled for the week of the 5th, but this one is coming out on the 12th. Please take special note of the cover of The End Continues, the original soundtrack. Look that up. You'll see, you'll get a chuckle out of that as well. We'll have the full description of The End Continues coming up on next week's new release show as we get closer to that one releasing on the 12th. One other soundtrack to tell you about in the reissues, and if you don't have a copy of this from a dollar bin somewhere, you can now get a picture disc limited edition version of The Sound of Music, the original soundtrack. The description tells us that celebrating 60 years of The Sound of Music, we have this collectible picture disc edition of the beloved soundtrack, featuring the iconic 1965 album artwork on side A and a charming scene from the film's Puppet Show on side B. The Sound of Music on Picture Disc Limited Edition, $33 is the suggested list price for that. And finally today, you know what? It is early, I will agree, but they're releasing this on the 5th, so we need to talk about it. If you're in the mood for some Christmas music, let's start it off with this one from Phineas and Ferb and Holiday Favorites. This is a various artist release that was only been available on compact disc, so this is the first time on vinyl that we're getting it. Our description says that Walt Disney Records presents Phineas and Ferb's Holiday Favorites on translucent emerald green vinyl, featuring songs from and inspired by the hit Disney TV series. Yeah, my kids really loved this one when they were younger. Some cool stuff on here from the likes of Bowling for Soup, Olivia Olson, Dr. Doofenshmirtz, of course, and Phineas and Ferb. So I know, again, early, but what the heck. Phineas and Ferb Holiday Favorites on green-colored vinyl. Suggested list price on this one coming in at $30. I know, too soon. But that will do it for a quick check of some of the releases headed our way for the 5th of September, 2025. If you're local and you see something you'd like us to pre-order, just contact us here at the store. And if you'd like to see the full list, by the way, of everything that we didn't get to, just head over to our website at radiowasteland.com. From there, just click on the upcoming releases link and you'll see that full PDF of all of the releases due for the 5th. Same thing goes there. If you see something in that bigger list that you'd like us to get a hold of for you, just contact us and we'll give you the info on that. So until next time, this is Jim from Radio Wasteland. You folks have a great one, and we'll talk to you next week.